this is how I passed the NCLEX in 150 questions, 2 weeks of studying. Hi everyone, my name is Jen and I am a registered nurse. Okay, I don't have a nurse job yet, but I did pass the NCLEX and I am registered with CNO. So I'm making this video because I am having studying withdrawals. I did post on my Instagram that I passed the NCLEX, and a lot of people from my cohort, from my class, and people who are from different programs have been messaging me. I just wanted to make this video because time is passing by and I'm kind of forgetting what I did and how I studied. I use multiple resources, so I'm just making this video so maybe if you haven't bought anything yet, you can decide which one is best for you. So if I'm looking this way, it's because I have my laptop in front of me. I'm gonna make a disclaimer just because a lot of people like to talk, a lot of people like to say things, you know. I am in no way a 4.0 GPA student. I am pretty much average. I didn't join any extracurriculars. I never did any studying clubs. I never joined any extra seminars for help or anything like that. I literally just show up to class. Sometimes I don't even show up to class. Sorry mom and dad, I didn't go to class all the time. The two main experiences that helped me pass the NCLEX, I would say, is my year-long consolidation in an acute medicine unit and also my nurse externship. I was in orthopedic rehab, orthopedic surgery, post-op, pre-op. I was also in acute medicine, and finally for about 7 months now I've been in emerge, and I also had a bonus shadow shift in the NICU, so I guess you could say I'm kind of everywhere, or I kind of seen everything. So I would say those experiences really helped me. Take what I say with a grain of salt just because I know everyone is different, and for me and my best friend Lorenzo, we're both the type of people who are oh, once I see it I'll know the answer. Just to start off, before I go into a review, I have advice from my friends who have also taken the NCLEX or are going to take it soon. So from my friend Lorenzo, who is currently working as a nurse, he said don't write it, and I agree, don't write it. Live your life, okay? For Nikhil, he passed in 85 questions. His advice is to focus on how to approach questions, and you won't know everything, which is something that I agree with and everyone else should agree with as well. Just engrave it in your head. You will never know everything about anything, and that's just a fact. Just accept the fact that you will never ever know everything, even as a nurse. And then from Mikey, he says to book it and don't wait to book. And I agree, because if you have a booked date, it forces you to study. And to be honest, we're in Ontario, so the dates are being taken up quickly. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but you may not get the date that you want when you feel ready to write. I use 4 resources: Archer, KAPLAN, SAUNDERS, and MARK KLIMEK. So for the Archer review, it includes a question bank, which is similar to the NCLEX, and includes a variety of the NGN type questions, which I feel you really need to focus on, because that's why they changed the whole NCLEX, right? They have the new case study questions, the drag and drop, the picking which one fills the sentence. I know that we are usually used to the classic type of questions, so I think that it is very important for you to find a test bank or find a textbook that has a test bank that focuses on the NGN type questions, because for me, I hate reading case studies. It's so long, it's so time consuming that I'm just okay, skip it, I'm just gonna guess. But no, you need to focus on how to really analyze those case studies, because of course it's gonna be this long, but the information that really matters just these 2 sentences at the bottom, or this one piece of history in the middle. Another thing about Archer, they have study plans. So there's a 3-week study plan, 6-week, and 12-week, I believe. Personally, I didn't use it. I don't really know much about it, but when I looked at the calendar, it basically tells you what you have to study on that day. So I guess if you are feeling as if you are at a baseline for everything, you don't feel very confident. So basically, this is how I used Archer. At first, I was making random tests, since you can basically pick what you want your test to be focused on. But I think it is more beneficial to do mock tests to prepare you for the real NCLEX. So the readiness assessment test that they offer, it lets you know where you stand on passing. It's 85 questions, and recommended is 4 very high in a row before you take the exam. But personally, I did like 15, 16 tests. This is something I didn't tell anyone, but the night before my NCLEX, I scored a baseline. I scored a baseline on a readiness assessment test, and I was like I was panicking. And they also have the CAT test option, which is also mixed questions, but it stops by itself like the real NCLEX. But the thing with the CAT test, it doesn't tell you where you stand. So in my opinion, I liked using the readiness assessments more. For 2 weeks, I did serious studying, which was 1 to 3 readiness assessments every day and reviewing every single question. So when it comes to right questions, review the wrong answers and the rationales, because maybe for other questions it may be applicable. For every wrong question that you get, review the rationale and understand why it's wrong, not memorize. The questions that you guessed, keep track on a piece of paper. If you can't remember, just be like, oh, question 1, oh, I just guessed this. Question 3, I guessed the answer. This is because you need to know if trusting your gut is accurate and if you are successful with guessing. And finally, reviewing the topics you struggle with and the type of questions you struggle with. So questions you take the most time on. One more thing about Archer that I forgot to mention is that they have review videos, which is basically videos explaining topics like condensely and what you really need to know for the NCLEX. I didn't really use it. I showed in another vlog that I was watching it, but to be honest, it was not too helpful for me. It's just because my attention span goes like this. While using Archer and figuring out what subjects that I'm weak in, I use the HESI/SAUNDERS online review for the NCLEX-RN Examination. But to be honest, any SAUNDERS textbook will work. I have this one, which is kind of outdated. Like, I think the only difference I really noticed in this textbook was the maternity part, because there are 5 stages of labor, but then here it's only showing 4. SAUNDERS is basically a condensed review of the subjects and systems. And for me, of course, as I mentioned, I mainly use it for maternity, peds, newborn, which are my weakest subjects. It also contains practice questions, test-taking strategies, and a pre-test to show what exactly you are weak in. So yeah, if you are someone who likes to read, I would really recommend buying the SAUNDERS textbook. Moving on, I have also used the KAPLAN NGN-RN Prep Practice Test Plus Proven Strategies textbook, which is this baby right here. I use this textbook to help me with test-taking strategies. It explains and guides you through how to work on your critical thinking skills. It goes over how to answer questions, especially the NGN questions, so case studies, you know. KAPLAN textbook also includes a practice test at the end, plus questions at the end of each chapter, which is really helpful. And for each question in the answer bank, it tells you like why it's wrong. Like, it gives you rationales like every other kind of bank, you know. This textbook is a very good resource if you believe that you are a bad test taker, or if you are half-half on like being good at test taking. I really recommend this textbook. Like, it's a really good textbook, guys. I feel like I forgot to mention, I did use MARK KLIMEK. I used the PDF lecture. I only read lecture 12 literally on the GO train when I was going to the test center. It's prioritization, delegation, staff management, guessing strategies. But to be honest, the main things that really stuck with me from that long PDF was, don't expect 85 questions, expect 150 so you don't get stressed at 85. And this is just something to remember, is that people can also fail at 85. Just because your test ends at 85 does not mean you passed 100%. Every test is different, every person is different, and that's fine. So if you are reaching 150 questions on the NCLEX, that is okay. It means that you are still in the game, you are fine, you are chilling. Like, don't worry, it's fine. Do not overthink it. If you are taking too long on a question, it is wasting time for the other questions you can probably spend more time on. So, you know, as nurses, we value the safety of our patient over their happiness, you know, like have to educate and make sure they're safe. What I'm trying to say is if you are having a hard time picking an answer, just pick what is the most safe for the patient, because you would rather have them alive and angry than dead, you know? That's just the truth. Another piece of advice which I really agree with, Mikey made this stand out to me, is that everyone is different. Treat studying like a full-time job. And what he means by this is you study from 9 to 5. So you have time for life after, and you will be able to wake up early the next day to study again. And just like this 9 to 5 type of studying, it refreshes your mind. I don't see any use of pulling all-nighters or cramming, especially on the last day before your NCLEX. It's important for you to rest because cramming may stress you out more, and you need rest to have a clear mind. I know it's like corny to say, but it's true. After reviewing all of the resources that I used with you guys, my final review of what you should probably get to study, again, take my words with a grain of salt, I would get Archer and KAPLAN. Everything that I use will be linked down below. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, or you can also DM me on my Instagram. I would prefer you to just comment down below if you have any questions. So yeah, I hope this video helped you, and good luck on writing your exam. Bye!